Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have lots to talk about, so let's get into it. For your warm up today, no 3 rounds. You just complete the total reps, right? So the first one, air squats, feet shoulder width apart, right? When you go down for this one, I want you to kind of sit in that a little bit at first and kind of just open up the hips, warm up the knees a little bit. Then you can start to move a little bit faster. You got 25 of these, right? And just kind of move through it. From there, you have the knee hug to forward lunge, right? So we're going to bring one knee up as high as it goes and then hug it the rest of the way towards your chest, keeping your chest up high. Let that same knee step forward, tap the back knee, and then step together. Alternating, we'll do 20 total. From there, Cossack squat. So make sure your feet are nice and wide on this, toes pointed slightly out. You're gonna hinge your hips back first, then bend one knee, point the opposite toe up towards the ceiling until you feel that nice stretch through your inner thigh there. All right, alternating, you've got 10. And don't be afraid to sit at the bottom of this one a little bit and sort of open up the hips, stretch the inner thighs out. All right? So that's your total reps that you see on the email today. But if you want to run through it a couple of times, be my guest. If not, we'll move on to the stretching portion. So for your stretching portion, we are doing the single leg squat today, pistol squat. So if you tuned in last week, I told you about the importance of ankle mobility for the pistol squat, because it sort of creates stability and strength and mobility all the way up the chain. So when we're doing this Samson stretch, you want to make sure that you have a lot of distance between your 2 feet. Let one knee come down to the ground. So we're going to try to make the ankle touch the toe, right? Or the knee touch the toe, my bad. So we're stretching this front ankle out. I'm going to bring my foot a little bit closer. There we go. So this is the kind of angles that you want to see here for this for the front leg. Now, stretching out the back though, you want to make sure that you're getting that hip flexor. So you're going to squeeze your butt and then push your hips down towards the floor. All right, you're going to hold here in that stretch, uncomfortable, not painful, for 45 seconds, and then switch sides. Right. So from there, you have just a 45-second down dog hold. Right, so from the quadruped position, push through the palms of your palms, bring your head and chest through your shoulders, straighten your knees, and then try to get your ankles to touch the ground, your heels to touch the ground. Hold for 45 seconds. Now, 45 seconds can seem like a long time in this position and can start to get a little uncomfortable for the shoulders, right? Hold that position and keep pressing your ankles down and keep actively pressing your knees towards the wall behind you. All right, that'll loosen up those ankles, loosen up that posterior chain, and then once that 45 seconds is done, bring your knees to the ground and come back up. All right, so if you want to run through that warm-up more than once, be my guest. I'm all about, very supportive of mobility and feeling like you're ready to go. So once you're through that, we're going to do our strength portion today, which is the single leg squat progressions. So it's a 12-minute EMOM, 4 movements. The first one is 12 close stance squats. So get your feet as close together as your mobility will allow. Now, when I say that, that means that you are still able to get your hips below your knees, right? So if your feet are this close together and you can't get your hips below your knees, that's cool. Bring your feet a little bit further apart, right? Because the idea is to still get full range of motion. So you have 12 of those. From there, you have the Bulgarian split squat. So if you're not familiar with this movement, or if you feel like your unilateral squat pattern, so that's the single leg squat, is not as strong as you would like, just do this body weight, right? So we elevate one foot. In the workout, it says to do all 6 on the right, and then for the next minute, do all 6 on the left. So I'm doing my right now, right? So you elevate your back foot, and then sit straight down. The idea is when you are in the bottom of this squat, your hip is on line or lower than your knee, and your knee stays stacked over your heel, right? No part of your hands touch your body. So we're not doing this to come up, right? Hands stay at your chest. If you want to make this more difficult, then you'll use a weight, an external load. So holding that in the goblet position, lower down as slowly as you can, and then pop back up normally, right? So that's what the eccentric portion is. We lower down slow, maybe a count of 3 seconds on the way down. So 3, 2, 1, and then pop up, all right? So 6 on your right, next minute would be 6 on your left. From there, you have the pistol squat, alternating pistols. So for that, right, we're still trying to get full range of motion. So that means that your hips come down below your knee, and then you pop right back up. If you're starting to feel a little bit of pressure here, or a little bit of tightness here at the hip flexor, remember you can hold your foot and then sort of pick it back up as you rise. Other options, you can do the curtsy squat, right? So we have one foot behind the heel, or even on the heel. And still trying to move in that more difficult pistol pattern. So if you have any questions about that, remember to reach out. So for our WOD today, we have Fight Gone Bad at Home, or Fight Gone Home, however you want to say it. So any of you guys that have done Fight Gone Bad in the gym, this is going to be very similar. So I'm going to talk about the 5 movements and then the options that you have if you don't have things like a rower available to you. I know only a few of you guys do. So the first minute is wall ball. If you don't have a wall ball, like me, then you can do a thruster. So I'm going to demonstrate the wall ball using my handy pillow here. So for your wall ball, right, holding it above your chest, you're going to squat down as low as you can, get your butt below your knees, pop up, and hit the wall, and not the ceiling. If all you have available is a single dumbbell, that's cool. You can do single arm thrusters, and you can switch off whenever you want to. So for that, right, holding that dumbbell in the front rack position, we squat down, explode up, and then let the momentum help you to get that dumbbell up into that overhead position with your elbow locked out and your hand on line with your ear. So back down. From there you have the sumo deadlift high pull. Once again, I only have one dumbbell available to me, so I'll just switch off whenever I can. If you have 2, feel free to use 2. It would look something like this, right? Pop up. Bring your elbows above your collarbone. Try not to punch yourself in the face. Back down, back into that sumo position. In the sumo position, our feet are wider than our hips. Toes are pointed slightly out. Remember, the knees track with the toes when we come into that sumo deadlift. So we're still pressing the hips and knees back. The back stays straight and the chest stays high. Right? With the dumbbell, you're going to explode forward with the hips and use that momentum to get the dumbbell up towards your face. All right? Sumo deadlift high pull at home. From there, you got box jumps, tuck jumps, or hurdle jumps. So if you're doing this outside and you find like a bench or something that you can jump onto for a box jump, by all means. If not, you can do a tuck jump, which is just from the squat, pop up as high as you can and get your knees up as high as you can. Or you can do a hurdle jump, and I've got my handy box here, / hurdle, that I can jump over. So for that, I'm gonna reach back behind me. I'm gonna throw my arms forward and then land softly over the hurdle here. Boom. Super soft. I have neighbors downstairs. From there, you have the push press. So back in that front rack position, little dip. Actually, let's do this on the right hand, on the left hand, so we get a little bit of balance. Little dip here. Boom. Pop up. Overhead position. All right. Last one is double unders, row, single unders, or jumping jacks. So if you have a rowing machine, row for calories. If you don't, double unders for reps. Single unders, but when you count them, you're going to divide them by 2. So when you're counting up your reps at the end, if you're doing single unders, take that number and half it. Yeah, guys, so that is the WOD for the day. The 6 minute is rest, count your reps, drink some water, and then you have 3 rounds. If you're setting this on a timer, it'll be 17 minutes total. So for your core burn today at the end, this is optional. If you're still like, hey, like I want these ripped abs, summer's coming up, cool, I got you, homie. So we have oblique raises. So for oblique raises, right, grab your implement. You're going to lower it down towards your knee and then use this opposite oblique to pop back upright. So you've got 12 on your right, and then from there, Russian twists, right? You can use this dumbbell, or you don't have to, right? Tap here, come across, and then tap the other side. Notice how when I'm doing these, I'm turning from my torso. My entire torso rotates, right? You don't want to get in the habit of just kind of like moving it with your arms, because then it becomes a bicep exercise. I mean, biceps are also important for the summer, but you want to make sure that you're actually using your obliques and your torso to make that movement happen. And then from there, you'll do 12 on the left and 10 more Russian twists. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sweating just explaining this stuff, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy yourselves today. Go ahead and post your score on social media, or you can also post it on the YouTube channel underneath in where the notes are in the comments for the YouTube video for today. All right, I'll talk to you soon.